gosh. Muffin's experience has a level of time. The little spikes can take extra damage.
He makes it through.
Wow. Don't save anywhere for it.
Oh! Muffin! Wilson!
Wilson! What are you doing? No, what are you doing?
No, still. Oh! Health reach! Oh! Health reach! I'm saving him again!
Guys, I hope he remembers that top left keystone, because that's dash. That's huge.
Oh, he forgot it! He doesn't remember. Oh, no!
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament 2018 edition. I am, as always, very excited to welcome you all back to watch more hilarious and fantastic Ori and the Blind Forest action here on Speed Gaming once again. And my name is Vol'jin. I'm here with Rainbow Poogle. We're going to bring you the first match of this tournament, and this is from our doubles division. This is going to be between Infinity Death Gauntlet and Half the Baguette, the teams of Dr. 2 and J Halcyon, and Dedew and F, respectively. And Poogle, tell us a little bit about how the doubles here is going to work.
So how the doubles tournament works is that we are going to be playing standard shards. Now, each of the dungeon keys that we need to complete the game, the Water Vein, the Horror Mountain key, and sometimes the Forlorn key, are each going to be separated into 5 shards. Now, each of our runners is going to need 3 of those shards in order to complete that key and enter the respective dungeon. Now, as this is standard logic, we've got all of the, all skills tricks you would normally need, except for the glaringly sequence breaks that we do to get better times.
That's right. And, of course, if you're not familiar with Ori and the Blind Forest, we are going to do our absolute best today to catch you up. But if you are, then, yeah, it's basically going to be like an all-skills run. And, of course, on top of that, I shouldn't say exactly that, but it'll be that style of play throughout the game. And also, because this is doubles, our 2 runners on each team are going to be able to communicate with each other and share details that they found about the seed. And so the end result is going to be based on the average time. Poogle, I have been very, very excited for this tournament. What are you hoping to see today?
I'm hoping to see a really close match. It's the first match of the tournament. It's the first match of both singles and doubles. I'm super excited to see what comes out of this. I want to really see how each of the players and each of the teams ends up having their own style throughout the tournament. A lot of teams I know will separate objectives between the 2 players. Some will go one way each time, some will go the other way. And I'm really interested to see how each of those individual styles pans out.
Yeah, I agree. And the other cool thing seeing here is, we've got a lot of returning players from the All Skills tournament, which of course was earlier this year on Speed Gaming as well. But, now they're playing Randomizer, and it's just a very different kind of game experience. And we haven't necessarily gotten to see some of those players, kind of play together. There hasn't really been an opportunity before. So how are Dedew and F, who are 2 very skilled all-skills runners, what are they going to show us here in the Randomizer? And then, of course, on the other side, we have Dr. Tuin, who I think none of us have ever seen speedrun Ori, and J Halcyon, who was in the All Skills tournament, but he's a rather newer player. How are they going to, kind of strut their stuff here on the big stage, I guess?
Speaking of Dr. Tuin, he is actually using the randomizer to learn the all skills tricks for different parts of the run. That's true. And
actually, he's not the only player in the randomizer tournament to be that type of player. There are a number of players, most notably Aiko, who literally does not speedrun the game, only does randomizer. But looks like we're just about ready to go, so we're going to be getting started in just a few moments here. On the top of your screen, you will see Dr. Tuin and J Halcyon. On the bottom, you see Dedew and F, and their Twitch links will float in here and there. And you also see the trackers in between their screens, and we're going to be drawing your attention to those to help you follow along the action here. Screens are a little small, but we will draw your attention to the most appropriate place as we go. So the race will be getting underway in just a few moments.
Looks like we are just about to start.
Poogle, let's do the fun thing, and let's call what item you think is first.
Swamp TP.
Okay, I'm going with Keystone. I think it's going to be kind of straightforward. Well, here we are. We've got our timers going. We've got our runners ready to go. We've got color shift enabled on the top and on the bottom left. So whenever those runners pick up a pickup, they will randomly change to a different Ori color. And here's our first pickup, and it is a Keystone.
Which is good considering we'll see more of a, I guess, standard beginning routing?
Ish. Yeah, for sure. And you do see that this pickup here, this energy cell, this is vanilla. That is to say, it's the same as the base game. That is intentional. You also see Dedew on the bottom left intentionally got hit by the Rhino there in that little scripted event, and he took the XP from that. That was intentional. He is going to line up a level up in just a little bit intentionally. It's very hard to manipulate your level in Randomizer, but Dedew has one specific one that he will do.
That'll be really interesting to see then.
You know, Poogle, ability points are very, very important early on. Do you have any early XP routing tricks that you like to do in randomizers?
If I get the chance, I'll normally try to get my first level up if there's a big pickup so I can kill all the brambles in one shot next to the teleporter.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty common for sure. Now we're going to be picking up a few more pickups. We got a map stone just below that Spirit Flame, the first pickup of the first skill pickup of the game, and probably the most important. It lets you actually attack things, although you know certain people might disagree. But we picked up a keystone there, another keystone here. So this one's pretty straightforward start. It's 3 keystones and a map stone, and we're going to be able to continue to the left into the main area of the sunken glades here.
Now, what almost all of our runners are doing is checking the pickup under the water right underneath that first keystone door. Now, that's not going to be in logic in standard, because standard, if I'm correct, will never put you into dirty water.
That is almost correct. Yeah, there's exactly one place where it can, and we'll talk about that whenever we get there. But you're correct otherwise. Yeah, there's basically no time it's going to expect you to pick something up underwater. And we did pick up our first skill just a moment ago up in this 4th health cell spot, and that is Climb, which is Climb? Glide. It's Glide. Reading's hard. And Glide is going to allow us to float on air currents a little bit later on. It's also going to allow us to kind of slow our rate of descent in different places. And now we are seeing some splitting up here, aren't we?
We are. So it looks like that Dr. Chewin is going to go to the left and pick up this one pickup he can have access to without wall interaction. Meanwhile, Halcyon is going to find a wall jump behind the blue wall, which also means that somewhere our runners picked up Spirit Flame, well, Charge Flame.
Yeah, that was likely down here at this this map monument here. So now we've got J Halcyon heading up to the Charge Flame tree. F right behind him picks up the first Water Vein shard. So both teams now have knowledge of one of the Water Vein shards. The Water Vein is a required key. Poogle alluded earlier that the key to the Forlorn Ruins, the second dungeon, may not strictly be required, but the Water Vein is, and that is because there is one skill tree located inside there. Why are the skill trees important, Poogle?
Skill trees are important because without all 10 skill trees, you cannot get into Mount Horu Escape. Speaking of Water Vein shards, Dr. Chewin has just picked up one at the wall jump tree.
Okay, interesting. So we're already up to 2 of those, with both teams having knowledge of that. Dedew will have just picked up Wall Jump Tree. F will have just picked up the Water Vein Shard from the plant, so they should both know about that. And now we've probably got both teams, each runner will swap to pick up the stuff that their partner just got a moment ago. So Halcyon going to head towards Wall Jump. F is actually going to head into Blackroot Burrows immediately now here.
Now, he's taking Magnet, which is probably because he wants to make sure he's got enough ability points to skip the next cutscene, which is normally the Darkness cutscene skip in all skills, or actually basically any category that gets into Blackroot Burrows. But what's really nice is that you can skip this like 20-second or so long cutscene by using a Save Anywhere. Well, do you want to enlighten the crowd as to what Save Anywhere is, if they don't know?
Yeah, so Save Anywhere is a glitch that we make pretty heavy use of in Ori speedruns in general, but in particular in All Skills, which of course you might have seen earlier this year on Speed Gaming. But the general idea is you are able to move with the ability learning menu open, and when you do that, you can learn an ability at any time, and that will automatically save the game in that spot where you currently are standing, or not necessarily standing. You might just be in midair, and that's totally okay as well. And so F makes use of that to skip a cutscene by triggering the cutscene and then using that Save Anywhere. Meanwhile, we did see both Dedew and Halcyon go through the Spirit Caverns area. That's a very high-density early area with a lot of pickups in it that both of them wanted to check pretty early, and they mostly got keystones out of there, so not really, you know, super exciting or anything. In the Link to the Past parlance, that was not a very hype cave. We do have now a few more checks here. This left glades area, the wall jump loop, as some people sometimes call it. We get another keystone, another mapstone. Boy, where is the real value? Since we got the wall jump and the feather and the charge flame, it's been a little bit dry poop.
With the early glide, it's got me thinking if our runners are going to find also an early wind restored, as oftentimes the randomizer will tend to do that.
That's a good point. Those two skills, well, Wind Restored being an event, those two things go together very nicely. Wind Restored is actually, in the vanilla game, it's the thing that you get by finishing that second dungeon, Forlorn Ruins, and it activates air currents around the game world. But, you know, in the randomizer, anything can be anywhere. We've randomized the vast majority of pickups in this game. Mapstones, keystones, ability points, health cells, energy cells, even the events of the game, even the keys to the dungeons, they're all randomized. So it's a very dynamic experience every single time. And, you know, if you've watched Link to the Past randomizer, the Ori randomizer is heavily, heavily influenced by that particular one because of, you know, I mean, it's just a very high quality product and a lot of fun to play. So we've kind of taken a lot of good things from that.
That we have. Looks like F is going to make his way to the dash tree.
And yeah, he just did another cutscene skip there as well. She skipped the one you just mentioned a little bit earlier, that darkness lifted cutscene. Doing a little bit of a sequence break here as well.
He's doing a very interesting version of that, though. He's doing a cutscene stack, where he both does the darkness cutscene skip, but also stacks that with getting the tree. So during the tree animation, he can just keep moving back to the left.
That's correct, and he also managed to find a Gumon seal shard from that tree. So that is the first shard of the key to the Forlorn Ruins, which again, as we've mentioned, may not be required. He also finds a vanilla ability cell in the middle of Blackroot Burrow, so he's actually going to drop that. Meanwhile, his partner Dedew is actually heading up through the top of Spirit Caverns, and he checks that one pickup in the entrance to Valley of the Wind. And he might check one more. Yeah, he's going to check this plant as well. He's going to try to check this plant as well.
Walls are difficult.
This is actually in logic with only wall jump and charge flame as well, so it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. A rough death for F there. Actually, not too bad, just sends him to the top of this little area here. And Halcyon is going to watch a little bit of a cutscene.
It's curious that Dedew decides to skip that 100 experience pickup above where the ability cell normally is, because that can be a skill or something for them.
It definitely can. It also sucks.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you there. Just wall jump to get to that is awful.
Right, so on the bottom right, F was doing another Save Anywhere. There's this boulder chase sequence here. Ooh, okay. So F kind of botched up the skip a little bit. It's not a huge deal. You just needed to reload again. If you do that skip correctly, then the kill box on the rolling boulder there is removed, and you just kind of can let it roll over you. The first time he had slightly messed it up, so it was going to kill him, but he just reloaded and that fixed it.
Now he's going to use this Frankie to break the now technically broken boulder, which that Frankie is an interesting one of the game. There are two Frankies, that and one other, that do not respawn when they die. The other being the Frankie that breaks the floor to Sea Flame Tree.
Oh, we do have Halcyon did manage to get up to that plant in the top right. He got 28 XP, so fortunately for Dedew, he's not missing out on anything there. But yeah, that Frankie is a very important one to mention, and we actually... Is that the final shard of the water vein? F just picked up a water vein shard from behind the boulder, and I think that's actually 3 for both teams. Well, at least it's 3 for his team, and once the top team gets there as well, they'll also have 3.
However, they're not going to be able to go into Ginso Tree and get anything done just yet because they don't have the skills to get above the first room.
That's right. Ginso is a very vertically oriented dungeon, and without something like charge jump, bash and grenade as a combination, or double jump, they're not getting much of anywhere in there. But having the water vein done already is definitely very nice. So once Dr. Tuin picks up his boulder XP here in just a moment, his team as well will have that information.
Now, another interesting thing is that that particular experience orb is absolutely not in logic right now because you need at least stomp and either dash or charge jump, yes?
That's correct. Or bash grenade as well. Speaking of bash grenade, there's grenade. That's at the energy cell just below the spider sack area. And Halcyon is like right there, so he will be picking up grenade as well for Infinity Death Gauntlet on the top pretty shortly. Meanwhile, Dedew will continue on. F is... Oh no. F is checking the worst location in the game. I think everyone agrees. It's called the dash plant. And as long as... it requires a really precise wall jump. And unfortunately, he can't spend an energy to save up on that platform above, which would make it a lot safer to retry, because he needs that energy to use a charge flame. Dedew picking up from the second map monument, Stomp. Pugu, you want to talk about how map monuments work?
So how map monuments work in this is that you get map stones around the course of the game. They can be any pickup. There's actually 11 of them, not just the 9. So like with the shards of the keys, if you miss one, it's not the end of the world. Each of the map stones is then labeled 1 through 9 when you put them in. So you could put map pedestal in for the first one down in Blackroot, but you could get the same skill if you put the first one in down in Moon Grotto, for example. Each of the map stones going forward from 1 to 9 will give you that respective thing. So let's say there's a Sunstone shard on map pedestal 5, for example. You could put in any 5 map stones and then get that Sunstone shard.
Exactly. It's just like progressive items in Link to the Past Randomizer, which again, just a very, a nice feature that we all kind of liked pretty well. We have, I think most of the teams are kind of covering the same ground right now. F is still making his way up through Spirit Caverns, as is Dr. Tuin, catching up after BRB. Dedew is checking this one kind of crappy pickup over here. This is heading towards Horu Fields. It is a health cell that is normally used in the All Skills run to fill out your health right before you go to Mount Horu. It is actually in logic without Stomp. He has Stomp. He could have stomped that barrier, but he just might have forgotten that he did. But in either case, there wasn't anything exciting. And so F will continue up through Spirit Caverns. Halcyon is actually going to skip that particular pickup that Dedew just checked, and he is going to head directly over towards the swamp area and the front of the Ginso Tree. I wonder how he'll choose to route this.
Well, he does have Grenade. So with that, I would say that he's going to go past the tree and go down that swamp loop. Because there's the Grenade pickup, you can get the Under the Stump floor pickup with the Mortar Worm, and you can get the plant on your way down too.
That's a good point. We'll see what he opts to do. He has, yeah, of course. He doesn't have double jump, and he doesn't have any other, like, extra height gain beyond just wall jump. So he actually has to push this boulder back all the way out to be able to use it as a platform to reach the next area. So there you go. And Dedew is going to have to do the same crap. Kind of boring, but hey, what can you do? F checking out the lore at the Grove teleporter. Teleporter's a good time to mention that. That particular teleporter, they're called Spirit Wells, and that particular one where F just watched a cutscene is at the Spirit Tree. It's the Hollow Grove teleporter, and the interesting thing about teleporters, aside from that you can teleport to them, is that you have 6 of them that exist in the game world, that can actually show up as pickups in the randomizer. So you might see somebody's screen pop up with Valley Teleporter activated or Sorrow Teleporter activated, and those will be very, very important potentially, depending on the kind of access they might grant. Ooh, rough death for Dr. Two and just getting sniped by a spider there.
Because the teleporters can be pickups, a lot of routing gets really interesting when you decide to maybe try and sequence break something, or decide, I can use this teleporter to get to this place with the skills that I already have. So, for example, you could get the Valley Teleporter and pick up a bunch of things down there without necessarily having Bash.
Exactly. It allows a lot more flexible kind of navigation and exploration of the game world. You see Halcyon on the top right just making use of the Stomp skill to pick up an ability cell, or at least a vanilla ability cell, turns out to be a mapstone. And that is going to kind of, it calls back to just the importance of, this is a Metroidvania, it's based around a skill progression, and just being able to make use of the skills that you do have to get to as many pickups as you can. It's going to be really important for both teams and all the runners in the tournament.
Now it looks like Jay Halcyon's gonna head down to the Moon Grotto area, which has both another tree and another map pedestal. I believe we're on 3 or 4 now?
I don't actually know if we've gotten mapstones been able to... Wow, words. If we've been able for either team to place mapstones in them. I know they've visited a number of them, but like right now, F is getting to the Hollow Grove mapstone, but he doesn't have a mapstone in his inventory, so he couldn't actually put one in and get his stomp skill, I don't believe.
I believe you're right on that. And it does look like each of the runners are kind of just going back and forth with either what their partner has already done or with what the other team has done. Now, Jay Halcyon doing another interesting little cutscene skip where by using a save anywhere, he can jump over the falling bridge so that he can get these 2 pickups. However, he does miss the rekindle skip to skip a little cutscene of Gumo pulling the lever right there.
Yeah, which that would have saved like 6 seconds or something, but it's definitely not a huge deal. Oh, actually, he didn't even have energy, so he wouldn't have even been able to think about it. But yeah, this is a nice little trick. It's just like a kind of free time save. Doing that save anywhere, not that difficult. Most runners are able to learn it pretty quickly, and we just picked up Wind Restored from the cell on Halcyon's screen, from the cell down along the fall into Gumo's hideout here. So that's a very nice pickup, and it's going to allow them to get those air currents. You see now he's floating across on that. And he also picked up another Gumon Seal Shard, so I think that puts us at 2 between the Dash Tree and that particular plant he just blew up.
I believe that does.
So yeah, thinking about the mapstones, Poogle, it kind of reminds me of how, important and difficult it is to manage the communication between yourself and your doubles partner. And I want to ask, like, how do you, for example, manage that communication of like, how do you even tell your opponent, like, oh hey, there was a mapstone here and a mapstone here and a shard here and this and this and this?
Notebook and writing it down.
That is a very, very solid plan. And in fact, that's a great point, because I think earlier we saw Dedew actually stop for a moment, like just stop in place for a moment and actually write something down. And by the way, we did pick up from Jay Halcyon, we picked up Charge Jump inside the crushers in Gumo's hideout. So that is a very, very nice skill to have. It's going to give them a lot of our favorite word, Google, verticality.
And Dedew finding, is that Dash?
Oh my goodness, is that really?
I believe Dedew just picked up Dash. Either Dash or Bash. It's one of the 2.
I looked away for like an instant. I guess we'll find out. It doesn't seem like Dash because he isn't dashing everywhere, so it must be Bash. Yeah, actually, you see Dedew again. He's actually just stopped in place, and this isn't like, it's not like, oh, he's confused, he doesn't know what to do. Like, he's probably just literally writing things down and then reading them off to F, because, like, that's, that's how you've got to do it.
So, looks like Jehalsi's gonna do the swamp loop towards that right-hand side. No, he's going into Ginso Tree. Nope, that's... I'm looking at the wrong screen. F looks like he's going to do the swamp loop that Jehalsian did. Meanwhile, Jehalsian looks like he's going to go into Blackbird.
Okay, interesting. So they do have now Stomp and not Dash, but they have the ability potentially to. Oh, actually, you know what might? Oh, he just hasn't done BRB. I'm attentive. I was like, oh yeah, no, he can go to like lower BRB with some stuff if he sequence breaks, but he just needs to actually get the dash tree.
Well, he could also then go into lower BRB if he wanted to.
That's true. He does have Stomp. He doesn't have Dash, which is technically, by the logic, is required to get to the Grenade skill tree, but that's not a huge deal. Most of the runners are going to know different sequence breaks that they can do to get in there, but it might not be the best play at this exact moment. Dedew actually, in Gumo's hideout, he is being incredibly comprehensive. He even checked the mini-boss that nobody really likes to check, but Dedew went ahead and did it. That's kind of one of the advantages of doubles, is you can just check these things that are pretty crappy to do, but you know, you have that time to kind of invest between your two doubles players.
Oh, and Grease pointing out that if they find clean water, one of the subjectively worst pickups to have to go and get out of the way is in Logic, and the Lost Grove Swim. I agree.
Think of that as it's like the Ori equivalent of the Hobo in Link to the Past, but it's actually worse, like by a significant amount. So, you know, take that as you will. Dr. Tuin, he is deep into Gumo's hideout and will be picking up his charge jump momentarily. And F coming through. Oh, it was Climb. Climb was the skill. There we go.
Oh, well, I completely misread that then.
Reading is difficult. That's all right though. We are heading further in. We are getting the double jump tree. So again, as Pukul mentioned earlier, we do need to reach each of the 11 skill locations in the game in order to complete the seed. It will just not let you finish if you don't do that. And that includes Spirit Flame at the beginning.
Do you know what this means?
Oh.
Our runners have Climb, Charge Jump, and Grenade. Fooligan, what does this mean?
It means that one covert muffin in our truck is going to be very, very happy. So runners can access a technique called Grenade Jumps, which is a very, very fast method of travel around the game world, where you can use a charge jump off a wall, but interrupt it. Actually, you do a grenade and then charge jump the next frame, and that gets you a very high rate of speed. Two very important pickups I'm going to call out for Dedew just now. He got another Water Vein shard. That is actually the fourth that either team has found, which means he won't have to bother going back to collect the other one that was somewhere else. And he also collected the Sorrow Teleporter, and that is a very, very, very nice teleporter to have.
Considering the skills that they have, is it in Logic to go to the Sorrow Tree from here, or can they just get to it?
I think without double jump, it might not. The logic is part of the thing with Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer relative to, say, Link to the Past, is in Link to the Past, the logic's a lot more defined. It's very clear as to what's in logic at any given time. Do you have the hammer? Do you have the bit? Okay, this is in logic, period. It just is. But in Ori and the Blind Forest, you know, it's all about different skill combinations that might or might not allow you to reach a thing. And there's a very, like, blurry line between a skill combination that lets you get somewhere and a skill combination that's in logic to get you somewhere. So all of that is a lengthy explanation to say that I don't know and I can't tell you.
Well, apparently Sigma is saying it is within Logic, so that would be interesting if any of our runners decide to go that way to get to the tree, especially if there's nothing worth getting in Sorrow Pass itself.
Yep, that's a good point. So we'll see. Definitely not a bad play if they do opt to go there, as long as you are confident in being able to navigate the area properly, like without just constantly dying. Like if you're going to just constantly die, then obviously your time will be better spent somewhere else. Go find another skill and then you won't just be, you know, kind of eating a lot of time in depths. We do get map 3 check from J Halcyon on the top right, or 4? Map some number of checks, and that was an ability cell.
That would be map number 4, yes.
Okay. Thank you to the truck for keeping track of that for us.
Now, I'm not sure that J Halcyon's going to find Climb anytime soon, considering that since he has Charge Jump and some form of verticality, Ginso Tree is now open to him. And he has the keystones to properly get to Bash without doing the really awkward key dupe in the first part of Ginso.
Yeah, in fact, I believe he has a pretty substantial number of keystones, so he should be pretty fine. And Dedew is going to be making the same place. Now, Halcyon and Dedew have been following a very similar path most of the game. F and Tuin have kind of diverged a fair bit more. We do see F taking the teleporter to Grove, so be interested to see. They don't have Bash yet, but it looks like he hasn't even been over this direction. I wonder if he's going to go check the crappy 100 XP that you called out earlier.
Well, considering he's got Charge Jump, it makes things a lot easier.
There's a grenade jump for you.
For anyone who is wondering, that is indeed a grenade jump.
And proving that grenade jumps are the answer, it was 42 XP. Oh my goodness. Alright, so we're in the Ginso Tree. Quick update on the state of the race. So both teams have very similar amounts of collection. They both have very similar things that they've gotten. Infinity Death Gauntlet on the top, they've checked a few more map stones than the Half a Baguette team on the bottom. However, otherwise they haven't really gotten anything out of that. And neither team has found any shards of the Sunstone yet, the key to the final dungeon, which is absolutely required to finish. So we're still looking for all of those Sunstone shards. In addition, both teams are missing the same set of skills, except Half the Baguette have claimed the climb skill from the 2 energy door near the Moon Grotto teleporter. So it'll be interesting to see if Infinity Death Gauntlet ever get to that door.
F looks like he's doing a bit of cleanup, unless... Oh no, F has not been down to Waldom Tree yet, so I like this routing that he's doing it now, because since he has Charge Jump, he can get those couple of pickups that Dedew wasn't able to get since it was just the beginning of the game.
Yeah, this is pretty nice. He also manages to complete his Water Vein at this moment. Because Dedew is coming up on the Bash Tree and is going to collect another Guman Seal Shard. That is number 3 across both of the teammates. So they now do have access to the full Guman Seal and the Forlorn Ruins. Theoretically, they have to actually travel there, but I think they might have enough skills to go there.
And it looks like that J Halcyon and Dedew have gotten the Bash skill from one of the Keystones.
That's a very nice pickup. That's gonna, I mean, that'll pretty much do it, Boogle. Like, as far as Go mode goes, I think both teams would be able to finish up with this set of skills.
Oh, I have no doubt of that. They've only got one problem. Where's the Sunstone?
I mean, who really needs that, right?
Well, this isn't glitch logic, so we kind of do.
So F displaying some more grenade jumps here, traveling to the Ginso Tree. He's just falling directly in. This makes absolute sense. From Dedew, you're going to see a lot of damage boosts here in order to collect all these keystones. Or not a lot. Oh, hey, there's the first of the 3 Sunstone shards that they need in the key collection section. Now, interestingly, Halcyon left the Ginso Tree, whereas Dedew opted to continue. But Dr. Tuin's in the Ginso Tree, I see. So perhaps they're having, they're kind of hedging their bets. Halcyon's heading out, but Tuin's heading in. Maybe Tuin will continue towards the top of the Ginso Tree here.
Well, since he has the skills for it, Halcyon's probably going over to the Stomp Tree.
That makes a lot of sense. We'll see what they'll end up finding over here. But first, we're going to check a couple more pickups in this area. Dedew is doing these top couple rooms of Ginso, and he's going to just bash his way up to this XP here. It's an energy cell. These walls here that are blocking the way to the corruption orbs that you have to destroy in order to start the Ginso escape, they are breakable with Stomp. And the left door, the left room, that one's breakable with Charge Jump, but the right one is not, because Or in the Blind Forest, ladies and gentlemen.
So, thoughts on Dedew possibly doing Ginso Escape?
I mean, I think there's no chance he doesn't. He is definitely going to go do it. We also see Tuin is doing the top of Ginso. I'm pretty sure he's going to do it as well. Like, with no Sunstone Shards, it makes a ton of sense.
Now, this is something we don't normally see in all skills or a lot of other categories, so it's really nice to be able to get to see it actually being done.
Ooh. House down on the top right, taking a little bit of a dip in the water as Dedew is getting started on his escape. Now, it's important to note, by the way, of course, the water in the Ginso escape always damages you, but also, like, the water in the rest of the world is still poison. And even if you finish the Ginso escape, it's still poison. You need the clean water pickup for the water to not be poisoned, and neither of the teams have gotten that yet. It's still random.
Looks like so far none of the pickups have been much of anything in Escape, but we still got one pickup at the very top of the tree right before we get out.
Oh, Dedew! Okay, everything's fine. Oh my goodness. Okay, that looked like it was just XP, so nothing actually showing up in the Ginso tree, but on the bright side for Dedew, he wanted to go to Swamp anyway, eventually, so now he's just there. He doesn't have to travel anymore.
And the truck is saying that the Forlorn teleporter was in the Swamp Energy Cell.
Oh, that's a very interesting pickup, especially since they have... Now, I don't know that Infinity Death Gauntlet has the full Gumon seal yet.
I do not believe they do, however, it looks like half the baguette does.
That's correct. So they could take that as a sign. Now, the Forlorn Ruins, nothing in there is in logic without having the key to the Forlorn Ruins, the Gumon seal. It doesn't matter whether you have the teleporter or not. It doesn't matter what skills you have. If you don't have the key to the dungeon, it is not in logic. So we'll see whether that leads to any differences on how each team approaches it. But Forlorn it's not the kind of place that you super want to go. So I would be a little bit surprised to see either team go there particularly fast.
Ooh, and Hal taking a bit of a death here. Unfortunately dying to the spikes getting up that particular shaft of wall. Normally you'd have double jump there. It's a little harder to do with just wall jump.
Yeah, and this is where you kind of, you get tested as far as your ability to manage your skills with limited sets of skills compared to, what you would have in all skills, for example, which Halcyon does have experience with the all skills speedrun, but in randomizers sometimes you can end up just lacking things that are really fundamental. This time he makes use of some double bashes to make his way up. You want to briefly tell us what a double bash is, Boogle?
A double bash is where you hit the bash button or key, and then on the next frame, you hit that bash button or key again, meaning that you end up with this kind of odd situation where you're still technically bashing the thing one way, but then you can put in a second bash input to bash present a different way. In Master Logic or in major sequence breaks, you can use that to get through certain places where you really shouldn't be. Such as, for example, taking a spider shot and breaking a wall, or taking a frog all the way up to a ceiling and breaking it.
Yep, pretty much, and it is a very, very useful technique to have in your arsenal. In the randomizer, there's actually a kind of a feature that allows you to do double bashes more easily, which is really, really nice. It's just kind of, in the randomizer, it makes it more about your decision-making on when to use the trick, as opposed to your skill and ability to pull off a, consecutive frame button release and repress, which is pretty freaking difficult. So we're seeing Halcyon. He's attempting a trick called Fast Stompless, but unfortunately it didn't work. And he's saved up here. The goal here is to redirect this spider shot to hit a bunch of rocks off in the distance, but it has to pass through a wall that Halcyon needs to unload by going far enough away quickly enough. So that's what he's trying to do here. Second one, it looked like the angle might have been a little shallow. This is not an easy trick. This is one of the tricks that causes people a lot of trouble in the all-skill speedrun. So this time he's going to say, all right, I'm just giving up on the trick for now.
Third time's the charm with F getting away from that frog.
Oh, Halcyon. Oh no, he didn't realize he had actually done a sequence break there, we're not a sequence break, but like a cutscene skip that he could have taken advantage of. But that's that's a little bit of a weird one.
F is trying his best to get to the charge jump tree. Now, he's only got 5 health, and all of these friendly spikes do 5 health damage?
Yeah, I think up in this area it's all 5, that's correct. And so he's gonna try to make use of a grenade jump here oh, he does get one there. Now he's got bash, so he can use this spider shot, redirect it down to break the next barrier. And then he's got one more barrier after that, but that's breakable with Stomp. Meanwhile, Halcyon collects the Feather skill pickup. That is one of the 11 total skill pickups that's required in the game. And F does make his way to the charge jump trees, so he will be able to pick that up. We are rapidly nearing completion of all the skill trees. On the top side, between the two members of Infinity Death Gauntlet, there's only 3 trees left to hit. And both players do need to visit each of the trees individually. So there might be, some trees that we don't remember that they've missed. But we'll see. And it looks like we did see a Sunstone shard come from the Kuro's Perch XP in Valley. Oh, and there's clean water. Those are 2 very, very nice pickups.
So clean water, I wouldn't want to see this late in the game because it puts a lot of things in logic that our runners at this point would have to go back to, such as all of the keystones under swamp for swimming, any of the grenade-locked water pickups.
That's definitely a concern that will be weighing on people's minds. We do have 2, and he checked the crappy XP that F got with a grenade jump earlier. Dedew checking some really crappy pickups in Blackroot Burrows. He checks one in particular. It turns out to be the Warmth Returned event. That is the event that you normally get by completing the game, or I should say activating the final escape. And it's really, really not useful. And that is a skill. That is double jump in Spike Cave. That's fantastic.
Oh my goodness. Now, Dedew's doing a very interesting sequence break to get up into the grenade tree area called Zombie Ori. Vula, do you want to explain that one?
I do. However, first I want to call to Halcyon's screen. He just found a 3rd shard of the Sunstone, and he also found Dash in this spike section with the keystones and left Sara. So those are 2 incredible pickups. I think his team now is done with the Sunstone because he's got the Sunstone shard from the top of Ginso, the Sunstone shard from Kuro's Perch. Oh, but Halcyon doesn't have the one from Ginso.
No, he left. So Sorrow Pass being extremely valuable, but Halcyon is going to have to go back for that Sunstone shard unless they find another one.
Okay, so that's going to be something to keep in the back of our minds. And yeah, as far as Zombie Ori goes, getting into this grenade area without having dash, which is, of course, a route, so we could have dash. But anyway, getting in there without dash is basically, you make use of save anywhere, and as mentioned earlier, you can save in any spot that you're currently in. If you save after you've died, for example, to that instant kill laser, it will save you in that spot with 0 HP, which is why we call it Zombie Ori. And then when you respawn, if the laser's still there, you'll just die again, but then you can keep the ability menu up and just save another time, and after you've done that, you're fine. The laser eventually goes away, and usually most people can do it by just learning 2 abilities, but sometimes it can take 3 or more, and then some runners can even do it with 1, which is crazy.
Now, with the fact that Team Infinity Death Gauntlet is going to have dash, Halcyon just picked up charge dash efficiency in the Spike Cave as well. Now, considering that looks like he's got the least amount of energy from anyone on the team right now, it's going to be real nice for him.
Yeah, I think both F and Halcyon are stuck at 5 energy, whereas Dedew has like 1 billion, and I think 2 in his 6. So they've had a little bit of a rough time, Infinity Death Gauntlet have, with the energy cells, but shouldn't be too huge of a deal now. They've got Charge Dash, which just allows you to travel in a direction with very, very high velocity. Looks like Halcyon is going to be in tree completion mode because he knows where the last Sunstone shard is. So he's just going to go for the trees as quickly as possible, most likely. And he will just try to, maybe we'll see if he's going to choose to like pick a couple pickups that are right near his path. But otherwise, I'm going to guess, yeah, he is going to do that.
So on the off chance that he finds a Sunstone Shard in Misty on his way, or perhaps down in Lower Blackroot, he won't then have to go back into Ginso, which is probably what he really doesn't want to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty likely trip. Now, Dedew has just gotten the charge jump tree, while F is also working on Sorrow. I believe F did not check the Kuro Perch XP, so he's going to find the second Sunstone Shard here, but that still leaves half the baguette short one Sunstone Shard. And now Dedew is probably going to be a little bit unhappy that he just left Sorrow because of the fact that F just found Dash, but oh, okay, he's heading back to Sorrow, so Dedew will probably be picking that up before too long. Halcyon, meanwhile, in Misty Woods, gonna continue checking some of these pickups. He does really want that Sunstone Shard. It's getting pretty exciting, actually. You know, you would have expected, based on our knowledge of these players, you would have expected Dedew and F to kind of have the advantage of the amount of experience that they have and the skill level that they have, just, you know, from speedruns. But Tuin and Halcyon are right there in this, and this looks very, very close right now.
It does. Both teams have 2 trees they have not gotten yet. Those trees, however, are different. And both teams are missing the Misty tree, which Halcyon is about to get. As F is going to get his Feather tree, looks like Dedew is going to head and get Dash, and Tuin has completed the Sunstone for himself.
Indeed, and Halcyon did not find a Sunstone Shard on the way there, so he's probably going to go to Grenade Tree next. He is going to wrap up his tree collection, and he will probably be disappointed. I don't recall seeing any Sunstone Shards for Dedew, who, for his part, is checking the spike area here, and he's going to collect Dash and his Sunstone Shard. And I did not see if F checked the Kuro Perch XP. I know that he checked, it doesn't look like it because he's still checking pickups. He checked the Wilhelm Frog XP in the top left corner, but he didn't check that Kuro Perch, so he is going to be still short a Sunstone Shard.
Which means that Team Infinity Death Gauntlet does have the advantage with shards, even as Jay Halcyon picks up a Gumon Seal Shard, which now our runners know they don't need.
Yeah, that's actually hilarious that there's a, I didn't see there was a Gumon Seal Shard there, but I don't know if you saw it earlier, the grenade blocked ability cell in the grenade area is a Water Vein Shard. So there's 2 shards there, but neither is the one that they want.
Looks like now Jay Halcyon is going to head back to the Ginso tree and get his 3rd Sunstone Shard. And he will be done with trees and done with shards and on his way to Horu.
Yeah, I mean, this looks very, very good for Infinity Death Gauntlet. If F had taken just an instant to go to that Kuro Perch XP that was right there in Valley, this would be a very, very different situation right now. But because he didn't, Infinity Death Gauntlet has the entire advantage here, and you know, they're gonna have to hope for some rough times on the final escape. For sorry, half the baguette is gonna have to hope for that. But there it is. Dedew just picked up his 3rd Sunstone Shard there, as that was at the Mapstone, just below in Valley. So I think F will be able to go get that. So now, now this is a race.
And our track pointing out a very valid thing in that Team Half the Baguette has the advantage of grenade jumps because neither Dr. Tuin nor Jay Halcyon found Climb in the Glide Vault.
There's a great point. So that will actually save, if they do the grenade jump first try at the end of the final escape, it skips about half of the final cutscene, and that saves a total of about 40 seconds. So we do this by average time of the 2 teammates. So if both of them pull it off, it's 40 seconds average saved across their team. So I think I saw F just pick up the Sunstone Shard, and now the question is what trees are remaining, and that can be a little bit unclear. Alright, Dedew's done with trees. Halcyon's done with trees. Tuin's got 1 more tree. F has got Grenade Tree left, at least.
So what tree is 2 missing then? I think it would be Misty then?
I'm thinking... question marks. Looks
Yep.
like Misty.
Truck is confirming Misty.
Okay, so this really hinges on, for F, is this his 10th tree? If it is, then now half the baguette is back in a very, very good position. Whereas if it's not, then it just depends on how fast Tuin can do Misty.
And that is his 9th tree.
Okay.
F still has a tree to go.
Oh my goodness, I have no idea then how close this will be. It is going to be really close, I can say that. But Dedew is at the door to Horu, right behind Jay Halcyon. Wow.
Does F still have double jump tree to go?
We're gonna find out shortly. Could be Stomp as well if he's teleporting to Grotto. He's gonna wrap up. He learns a couple new abilities. He learns Ultra Defense, which is a great ability to learn. Both Dedew and Halcyon pulling off the door warp trick on the first try. That allows you to immediately warp to the end of the final dungeon without having to do any of the normal content there. And it's a frame perfect trick, so great job pulling it off first try by both of them. And here goes Halcyon into his final escape.
It looks like F does have Stomp to go and is going to use some grenade jumps to get through this place a little faster, it looks like.
Ooh, and a death for Halcyon in the escape, so that's going to give Dedew the lead right here. Again, this doesn't necessarily only come down to which of them finishes the escape first. It's the average time of their team, but it's going to be very, very close. Tuin finishes up his 10th tree. F is right near his 10th tree. With that grenade jump advantage, that could really, really mean the difference for half the baguette here. Dedew's getting out of the water, and he's going to... Oh, he activates Kuro! Oh, no!
So it looks like we've got Jay Halcyon doing some fish strats, and he's going to be the first out of escape.
Okay, Dedew despawn Kuro. He's going to line up for his grenade jump. He gets the position, and he gets the jump. So he will actually finish his run before Halcyon does. Thanks to that skip. That is going to skip about half of the final cutscene. And now Tuin has what looks to be like a 30-second lead going to the final escape versus F, but that might not be enough, and he takes a death, which he really can't afford right now. This does kind of look like it's half the baguette's race to lose right now, thanks to that grenade jump advantage, which is crazy to think about in a randomizer. I can't believe that.
That's incredible. Looks like both Dedew and Jay Halcyon are holding right. Oh, Dedew? Dedew didn't get it.
Oh, he got the fake skip! Holy crap! What? Wow.
So, oftentimes what can happen, rarer now that we know a little bit how it works, is that you'll go for the grenade jump, you'll look like you get it, but you actually barely miss the trigger, and you still have to do the full cutscene.
Ooh, a rough time for Tuin on door warp. He took a whole bunch of attempts. F is coming in just now. Halcyon is hopping with Naru. You can't afford that. He finishes up with a time of 48:20. Dedew finishes up with 48:29. It is up to their partners here. And if F can pull off the grenade jump, then that will turn it around for Team Half the Baguette. But if not, if he gets the same fake skip, or if Tuin dies, then that's going to be a deciding factor here.
What is good is that they have clean water, so none of our runners have to worry about doing a perfect swim.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's already tense enough in the final escape. You don't need that added tension of having to swim through, taking a damage every second. Oh, F. Okay, F is able to make it through.
Dr. Tuin never got clean water.
Oh, but he's fine. He's got a health and a half left, so good job making it through there. He actually... Did he even ever get Glide? I'm not sure. He's not making use of it in any case. Oh, Tuin is almost there, and he's there. Now, it is all up to F Boogle.
This is literally coming down to a grenade jump. What is this, an all-skills race?
He gets it. We're gonna have to wait and see just a moment if he got the real skip or not. It looks like he got it. That will clutch out the victory for half the baguette. And basically a last-second comeback by F. Wow, what an ending.
That's incredible. I'm on the edge of my seat and just my mouth is hanging wide open. This isn't. I'm completely in shock that a randomizer race still came down to the last final escape grenade jump.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, what? F finishing up at 50-15, and alright, we have a slight bug in the display there, but yeah, the winning team coming out is Team Half the Baguette. That's incredible.
Holy heck.
And pointed out by our truck as Tuin finishes up 50-44. There's the update. The difference in averages by 10 seconds. It was mentioned by our truck that the bottom team in Half the Baguette completed all the trees, all the events, got all the skills.
I wish I had more words for this. I don't. That was an absolutely incredible race.
Whew. Yeah. Wow, just what a great display of teamwork by both teams, showing off, you know, how it really works to do doubles play. Both teams communicating really well, making great decisions on when to split up, like Halcyon leaving in so early, but then Tuin was going in at the same time, so he just continued. That was incredible. And then coming down to grenade jumps is just absolutely hilarious. I can't believe that.
And it looks like we are going to get both teams in here to talk about some stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna do our best in an interview with both of the teams. This will be, I'm sure, very hilarious, but we'll try to make it make sense. Let's go ahead and first welcome in our victorious team, who was in the middle of chatting. Half the Baguette did do an F. Congratulations for your win. Wow.
Wow, indeed. Oh my gosh.
I can't believe it.
So, I'll start with you Dedew. You had the fake grenade jump at the end. What was going through your mind just in that entire last section where you activated Kuro and then you despawned her and then you still got the fake skip?
Yeah, I thought I was good, and then like I forgot to charge jump, then I spawned Kuro. I was hoping I could like despawn him because it's quite close to do. Like sometimes you just enter the cutscene and you have to watch the whole thing. And I was happy when I got the grenade jump, and then yeah, I was mad again. But I don't know why. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, I think most of us don't really understand exactly why that fake skip occurs, so that's not super surprising. F, from your perspective, you had access to grenade jumps fairly early, relatively early. You know, how do I want to phrase this question?
How excited were you to see those?
I was, you know what? It wasn't a matter of excitement. It was a matter of comfort. I've really enjoyed doing grenade jumps in this game. We all like to go fast, you know. We're all speedrunners, so it's like one of the things I practiced a lot. And it's one of the things I enjoy doing in the game. So I think it helped me like get into the rhythm of, oh, I have grenade jumps now. I can be more at ease with what the game is letting me do.
All right, we are also joined by Team Infinity Death Gauntlet of Dr. Tuin and Jay Halcyon, who, wow, only lost by 10 average seconds there, and you guys put on a hell of a performance. Let's actually start with you, Dr. Tuin, because you know, you're the, I believe, as far as I know, you're the newer player to.
Oh yeah, by far.
And I just want to hear your thoughts about like being able to put up this kind of performance in this race, and what you expected for yourself coming in versus what you came up with.
Well, I got into Randomizer maybe a month ago, and I've put in like 80 hours this month. It's been really fun. I have a long history in platforming games. I have all the hardest achievements in Super Meat Boy and Dust Force, and I'm working on Celeste. But I've never really done speed running other than Super Mario Odyssey. Nothing super precision like this. And it's been really fun to learn all the tricks that go into the randomizer. It's such a really cool free-form category, and I like how much you have to think on your feet.
That's a great, like a really great summary of the randomizer. And Halcyon, I'll throw to you because thinking on your feet, is something very, very important. I want to ask about the Ginso play that you guys made as a team. The fact that you went into Ginso first and you opted to leave and then Tuin continued. Was that like an accident type of deal, or was that intentional? Like, let me actually just gamble on, I think there's nothing here, and let me just move on while Tuin continues.
I got bashed there in Ginso Tree off the Keystone and said, I'm in go mode other than the Sunstone Shards, so I'm gonna go. And when Tuin hit the Ginso Tree, he was like, I need to go to Stomp Tree anyway. Can I finish Ginso Tree out and do the escape? And that way, if there's something in there, we know about it. And I said, yeah, go for it, because everybody loves to watch the Ginso escape, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And so, he had to go to Stomp Tree anyway, so it was, not a huge amount of time lost to check that many pickups. And it turned out to pay off in that we got a Sunstone Shard there, and all I had to do was beeline to it once I had 10 trees.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely ended up working out really well. For your part, F, I don't know if you guys realize how deeply you got bailed out, because there was a Sunstone Shard on the Kuro Perch XP that you bypassed like twice.
Oh no.
And it turned out that there was also one on the mapstone right below it.
Oh,
So we're so confused we got that.
Oh man. We were actually in the middle of the race. We were discussing. I was going to check a bunch of pickups around the valley area, but Dedew convinced me not to because he was ahead on trees and I was behind. And we were just like, "Oh, I should go for trees." I said, "F should go for trees. Dedew should look for the last Sunstone Shard." And it turned out that Dedew found the last Sunstone Shard. So, hey.
Yeah, no, I mean that's definitely a great play. I really like that that prioritization. I'll ask you guys, again, F and Dedew, and maybe I'll specifically ask you Dedew because I know I saw this a couple times from you, to talk a little bit about the doubles communication aspect. We noticed a few times you would like stop in place, and what we were discussing was most likely that means you're literally writing something down. Is that the case? Is that how you guys kind of manage some of the communication, or like what techniques do you use?
Yeah, we're watching each other's streams, so we know when the other person is getting a pickup. And also we have a spreadsheet where we write everything down important, so we don't forget about it. We try to do it during cutscenes when it's possible, but there's not always a cutscene to avoid losing time. That's how we do it.
Nice. Yeah. No. Shared shared spreadsheets, things like that. Yeah, definitely make a lot of sense. I think most of the doubles teams will probably say similar things if we were to ask them. Well, Pugel, do you have any last questions here for our runners? I think we'll go ahead and wrap up as we actually have another race starting on Speed Gaming 2 shortly.
No, I think you summed it up really well.
All right. Well, congratulations again to Half the Baguette for your victory here today. Starting off the Swiss round 1-0. Very nice job. And congratulations, Infinity Death Gauntlet, on a very impressive performance. Unfortunately, going to go to 0-1, but of course you have 4 games left, and it looks like you're going to be formidable opponents.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great job, guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
GG.
Good job, guys.
Well, Pugel, it was my pleasure to join you today for this commentary. Why don't we do it again?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know, maybe in half an hour?
Cool, sounds good. Let's do it.
All right.
So y'all tune in. We've got Ozzy889 versus Meat Shield coming up on this same channel in about 25 minutes. But meanwhile, over on Speed Gaming 2, starting right now, we do have another match going on. I actually forget which one it is. I'm sure someone will remind us. Or you could just go watch right now. Stop listening to me. Go, go, go.
It's Oshimine versus Infinite.
Yo, nice. I'm excited about that one.
That's gonna be a pretty good game.
Do you think people are still listening to us? Why? Go watch. Google, thanks again, and I will see you shortly.
Sim, everyone, go to Speed Gaming 2!
Do it. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.